So now that you know the theory behind balancing equations, let's go ahead and actually practice balancing one. And one of the best ways to do this is to take an atom inventory for both the reaction side and the product side at the very beginning. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have carbon, we have hydrogen, and we have oxygen in this formula here. If we look over here, we only see carbon over here. There are two of them, so we have two carbon atoms on the left-hand side of the reaction arrow. On the reactant or on the product side over here on the right, we have one carbon, so that's not balanced. For hydrogen, we have four on the left-hand side. On the reactant side, over here we have two hydrogens. And then oxygen, we have two on this side, and then we have two oxygens here and one oxygen there. So there are three total on the right-hand side. So now that we've actually have taken a atom inventory, let's go ahead and start balancing some of these atoms. And the last thing that you want to balance in any formula like this is the species or any of the elements that are in the simplest form, comparatively speaking. And so as we see here, oxygen is definitely in a simpler form than either carbon or hydrogen in this chemical reaction. So we'll balance oxygen last. So we could either start with carbon or hydrogen to start with balancing. I'm going to start with carbon just because hydrogen is, well, a smaller atom. There's no real good reason to do that here, but I'm going to do it anyway. So let's go ahead and see what happens if we put a 2 right in front of this carbon dioxide, okay? I'm going to put it up here so in case we want to switch it, we can just draw a line through it and put the correct one eventually right there. Okay, so if we put a 2 here, we have double the number of carbons in this particular molecule. Or we've doubled the number of molecules. Now we have 2 carbon atoms on the product side. We also have doubled the oxygens here, so we now have 4 oxygen from these molecules and 1 oxygen here. So now we're at 5 oxygens. All right, we're looking at that. We're looking okay. Now let's go ahead and balance the hydrogens if we can. So looking over here, we have 4 on this side, 2 on this side. So if we put a 2 here, we now have 4 hydrogens plus 1 more oxygen. 4 hydrogens and 1 more oxygen, so that's 6 total, is that right? Okay, so now we have 2 carbons, 4 hydrogens, 2 oxygens, 6 oxygens. In order to have 6 oxygens on the left-hand side, on the reactant side, we put a 3 there, and now all of a sudden we have 6. So 6 and 6, 4 and 4, 2 and 2, bring those down into the formula, 2 here, 2 there. Our reaction should be balanced at this point. So that's the kind of iterative procedure that you want to do. If you find out that you need to double up something in order to get an even or an even number when you have an odd number, that's okay. You just go back through and start recreating this. Just always keep a running check of how many of each type you have whenever you add a coefficient up here.